There is a creature on this planet that has killed more human beings than every war, every famine, and every natural disaster in recorded history combined. It weighs less than a paperclip. It has no brain. It has no eyes. It cannot think, plan, or feel anything. And for the last 50,000 years, it has been systematically dismantling the human population one red blood cell at a time. It is not a virus. It is not a bacterium. It is a single-celled parasite called Plasmodium, and the mosquito is just its taxi. Malaria has been with us since before we were fully human. The parasite that causes it originated in tropical Africa between 2.5 million and 30 million years ago. Plasmodium falciparum, the deadliest strain, emerged around 50,000 to 100,000 years ago, which means modern humans were already carrying it before they left Africa. Scientists found malaria parasites in the mummified remains of Tutankhamun, the Egyptian pharaoh, who died in 1323 BC. Ancient Chinese texts mention it. Mesopotamian clay tablets describe its recurring fevers. The ancient Greek physician Hippocrates documented it in detail. Malaria was not a new disease when Rome fell. It was already ancient. Here's how it works. A female Anopheles mosquito, only the female bites because she needs blood to produce eggs, lands on your skin. As she feeds, she injects saliva to prevent your blood from clotting. Hidden in that saliva are Plasmodium sporozoites, microscopic, invisible. You feel nothing unusual. Within minutes, they are in your bloodstream, heading directly for your liver. You have just been infected. You will feel completely fine for the next 10 to 15 days. This is called the incubation period. And during this entire time, the parasite is quietly multiplying inside your liver cells, preparing for what comes next. After multiplying in the liver, the parasite releases thousands of merozoites into your bloodstream. Each one immediately invades a red blood cell and starts feeding on the hemoglobin inside. Then it divides. And divides again. After roughly 48 hours, the infected red blood cell bursts open, releasing a new wave of merozoites that immediately invade more red blood cells. This is the cycle, and every time the cells burst in unison, you get a fever. Not a mild fever, a fever that hits 40 degrees Celsius, 104 Fahrenheit, accompanied by violent chills, drenching sweats, crushing headache, and total body pain. Then it briefly subsides. Then it comes back. Every 48 hours, like clockwork, your body is being attacked from the inside. In severe cases, Plasmodium falciparum does something that makes it particularly lethal. It makes infected red blood cells sticky. They clump together and block the tiny blood vessels supplying your brain, your kidneys, and your lungs. This causes cerebral malaria, swelling of the brain, seizures, coma. It causes kidney failure. Fluid fills the lungs. Multiple organs begin to shut down simultaneously. Without treatment, severe falciparum malaria can kill within 24 to 48 hours of the first serious symptoms appearing. Malaria did not just kill people, it changed the course of human history. The swamplands surrounding Rome were so infested with Anopheles mosquitoes that they effectively functioned as a defensive wall. Entire invading armies, the Visigoths, the Huns, the Vandals, were stopped not by Roman soldiers, but by malaria. Historians believe it played a role in the eventual fall of Rome when the empire could no longer sustain the losses. Alexander the Great, who conquered most of the known world by age 30, is suspected to have died of malaria at 33. Dante had it, Oliver Cromwell had it, Abraham Lincoln had it, George Washington had it. Napoleon, who is responsible for some of the most calculated military strategy in history, used malaria as a biological weapon. When a British force of 39,000 men landed in the mosquito-infested Low Countries in 1809, Napoleon reportedly flooded the surrounding countryside to amplify mosquito breeding. More than a quarter of the British troops fell ill before a single battle was fought. Napoleon himself reportedly said he could defeat the British with nothing but fever. He was right. Malaria has been killing humans for so long that it has literally rewritten our genetics. Sickle cell disease is a painful, life-shortening blood disorder where red blood cells deform into a crescent shape. By every measure, it is a devastating condition. And yet it persists across populations in sub-Saharan Africa, the Middle East, and South Asia, because people who carry one copy of the sickle cell gene, not two, just one, are significantly more resistant to malaria. The parasite cannot reproduce properly inside sickle-shaped cells. So malaria has been selecting for a genetic mutation that causes another disease for tens of thousands of years, because that mutation gives a survival advantage against malaria. In some parts of Africa, up to 20% of the population carry this gene today. Every one of them is a living record of how long malaria has been here. Malaria is not a historical disease. It is happening right now. In 2023, there were approximately 250 million malaria infections worldwide and around 600,000 deaths. The overwhelming majority of them children under 5 years old in sub-Saharan Africa. Nigeria and the Democratic Republic of Congo alone account for nearly half of all global malaria deaths. A child dies from malaria approximately every 2 minutes. In the 20th century alone, malaria killed an estimated 150 to 300 million people. Some researchers have estimated that malaria may have killed somewhere between 50 and 60 billion people across all of human history. Roughly half of every human being who has ever lived. That figure is debated and may be an overestimate, but even the conservative estimates are staggering. Malaria is preventable. It is treatable. A vaccine now exists and has been deployed since 2021. Bed nets impregnated with insecticide have saved millions of lives, and yet 600,000 people still die from it every year. The reasons are straightforward and depressing. The regions most affected are the poorest in the world, where healthcare infrastructure is limited, where treatment access is inconsistent, and where the parasite has spent decades developing resistance to the drugs designed to kill it. Plasmodium falciparum has evolved resistance to nearly every anti-malarial drug ever developed. The first-line treatment today, artemisinin, is now showing early resistance in parts of Southeast Asia. We are not running out of patients. We are running out of drugs that work. Malaria has been on this planet longer than human civilization. It survived the collapse of Rome. It survived the invention of modern medicine. It survived decades of global eradication campaigns. It is a single cell, no brain, no strategy, no survival instinct, and it has outlasted empires. The mosquito that carries it weighs 2.5 milligrams. That is less than a grain of rice. And between the two of them, they have shaped the history of our entire species. The next time someone tells you humans are the most powerful force on Earth, remind them that we still cannot fully beat an organism we cannot even see without a microscope.